Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
A very, a very welcome everyone, and also our beloved instructor Wildcat. Today we will be commencing with the 7th day of Intro to Ethical Hacking course. Previous 5 days have been a great experience for you as well as for us, and we will be continuing this march till we didn't succeed. So grab your keyboards and mouse, guys, and with not much delay, let's begin with today's session.
Yes, good everybody. Today is the last day for ethical hacking introduction classes. Um, what I have to present to you share my screen now. Hold on. Um, okay. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. So without wasting much time, let's just quickly dive in to the basic methodology of hacking. In most cases, when you intend to hack something or you're given a job to hack, what you do is first of all draw out a plan, and that plan is the same as making a methodology for your attack. Like we said earlier on in the previous classes, the very first thing you do is you gather information, and that is the first step. So I will have to write this again. So the basic methodology of hacking, the very first thing you do is you gather information. Now, while why the basic methodology of hacking cannot work for every system you are going to be hacking on is because some systems you can scan some systems, while some others you can't scan them. Like your mobile phone, for instance, you want to hack into an Android phone, a mobile phone. Uh, the part where you have to do network scanning is quite unnecessary because it is not a network. Methodology of hacking, and then in the paid courses, I will tell you special methodologies used for different systems like your Android phone, your iOS systems, Windows, Linux, and all that. They have their own special methodology of hacking. I hope you understand that. They have vulnerability analysis. Do I have it here? Okay, we have vulnerability analysis. I hope you all remember the explanation I gave about this before. Information gathering, network scanning, vulnerability analysis, and all that. You remember the explanation, right?
Yes, sir.
We have enumeration. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to write this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on, please. Sometimes enumeration, as I said, comes before or after network scanning. Yes. Sometimes after gathering information, you need to build a profile before you start enumerating the devices in the network that you have built a profile on. Sometimes you need to enumerate uh, all right, can you hear me please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The same issue I had earlier in the classes. The system has gone off, but then we are not doing anything on the machine, so we have nothing to lose actually. So I will continue with the explanation. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. That's okay.
Okay, like I said, the very first thing we have, I'm sorry I'm not going to be writing on the screen. The very first thing we have is information gathering. And just now I was telling you that sometimes enumeration comes before or after network scanning. The reason for that is sometimes after scanning your network, you have to, for instance, you have to do some penetration testing on Instagram and then you use your ping to get its IP address and all that. What you do next is you get into the network scanning stage. You understand? But sometimes instead of going directly from information gathering to network scanning, uh, you have to enumerate some other details from your information you gathered. You understand? After your ping test, probably you've gotten your IP address. What you do next, in most cases, if you want to build a proper profile of how large the network is, other computers that are involved, you have to enumerate its IP addresses and the range of IP addresses. You understand? It is very necessary. Either ways, uh, we have the for the basic methodology, we have information gathering, we have enumeration, we have network scanning, like I said, we have vulnerability analysis. That's scanning is sometimes it can be automated, sometimes it's manual, like I explained before. After vulnerability analysis, what we have next is exploitation. Yes, exploitation of the vulnerabilities you have identified. Now, after exploitation, we also have maintaining access. Yes, and after maintaining access, we have reporting. Reporting is quite essential. It is what makes you an ethical hacker. So, in all of this, I don't think I have explained maintaining access. So, maintaining access basically means um, after exploiting a system, after escalating privileges, to maintain access, what you need to do is create, in most cases, it means to create a backdoor that can be used to access that particular vulnerability or access that particular system even after patches. You understand? Now, when among, I will discuss this in the next section, but I have to mention it now. Um, Among the commandments of ethical hacking, it is very, very necessary um, you are trustworthy and you are totally honest with your job. Now, in some cases, when you ask a penetration tester to go into your system, do a job, come out and write a report, sometimes those who are actually in between the black hat and the white hat, they sometimes create a backdoor, a backdoor that is only accessible by them or by those who are authorized or by those who have the key. You understand? Maintaining access basically means uh, having to escalate a particular vulnerability over and over again, even after the job is done. You understand? The reason I had added this to the methodologies is because sometimes uh, it is maintaining access is not usually familiar with the white hat hackers, but familiar with the black hat hackers because then after your job done, personally, you want to maintain um, a free will, or you want to maintain an a passage, you understand, to that particular system. So it is necessary you create a backdoor and all that. In the paid session, we will get into this properly because creating backdoors is quite essential. Is an essential skill to have because you then you also have to it's a skill you are going to utilize when hacking Android phones and you're hacking systems, uh, Windows, iOS, and all that. So we'll get into this properly in the paid session. And after that, we talk about writing the report. Yeah, report writing is usually it's quite difficult at times for beginners because um, a proper report is as important as the job itself. You get that? If you have done a great job, you have to do a great job also with the report writing. The reason for that is because you have to relate every single thing you have encountered in the process of carrying out the penetration exercise or exploitation exercise. Now, in report writing, you have to maintain some certain discipline like a properly dated work. You have to use proper dates. If you have to use use references. I don't know. Hopefully later in the group, I will make a. I will come back to this. I will send pictures and all that so you understand what I am saying properly. I'm sorry I am not able to stream right now. So then, report writing is actually the last thing you do when your job is complete, and in most cases, uh, when you go for a job or when you have requested for a job, or personally myself, when I go request for a job and tell the company I want to do some penetration testing on your assets, I have to get a complete payment. Like I have to the deal has to be done before I release the report. Why is this? This is because the report is a very, very uh, uh, a critical. It is a very, very critical document. You understand? Because then it contains um, the methods to reproduce the vulnerability you have discovered. It contains the vulnerabilities discovered. It contains remediations to that particular vulnerability you have discovered. It contains the dates, it contains agreements, and some certain signatures. You understand that? So the report is basically a documentation of the entire exercise, and it is quite necessary. But then, before you begin a particular exercise, if there is no platform like HackerOne, Bug Bounty Hunter, and if there is no platform like HackerOne in between you and your company, or in between you and the assets, there are going to be written agreements before the job begins. Yes, this is quite necessary for legal purposes, and I will explain that in the next section. It is quite necessary you maintain agreements before a job is done. So, without wasting much time, to the next we have is standards and laws and frameworks of ethical hacking. So before moving on to that, please, does anyone have any question about the methodologies of hacking?
No, sir, we didn't receive any questions.
Okay. So okay. Okay, so hold on just a second. So ethical hacking itself has a set of rules you and I have to follow, and they are called commandments. There are 10 actually, and the very first one of it is that you set your goals. This is very essential, and from here it says, while experimenting with the security of a wireless network, you should be able to answer the following three questions, which are: what information can the intruder first access at the target point? How can it benefit the intruder? And is there any dedicated person assigned to monitor the intruder's attempts? So you have to set your goals, and when your goals are set, you understand. So without wasting much time, to the second commandment is that you plan your work. And that is where you have to write your methodology and get set for whatever you might encounter during the process of that exercise. Planning your work is getting ready for documentation, writing a proper methodology, having the written necessary permissions, you understand, and the necessary signatures, you understand. Those are among planning your works, you understand that. So, the third commandment we have in ethical hacking is you always obtain permission, and that is the reason why it is ethical. That is the reason why it is ethical, because you, before hacking a system, you have to let the administrators or the owners of the particular asset, let them know that I am going to be performing such actions on your network, and have an agreement. And if they give you permission to go ahead, you go ahead. But if they do not give you permission to go ahead, you shouldn't go ahead. However, if you go ahead, it means you are a grey hat hacker or a black hat hacker. I hope you understand that. Now it says the act of obtaining permission differentiates an ethical hacker from a cyber criminal or a black hat hacker. An ethical hacking, when performed without permission, will be held responsible in the court of law. Before you begin hacking, take permission in writing from the management, seeking support in all aspects of the law. It means that when ethical hacking is performed within the agreed constraints, the ethical hacker will gain support from the management. This is actually true. Whatever asset you're hacking for or performing a job for, they will provide support for you and probably financial rewards after the job is done. So, moving on to the fourth commandment, we have it you have to work ethically, and the term ethical in this context refers to working professionally in absolute good conscience. And that is the reason why you wouldn't create a backdoor, you wouldn't try maintaining your personal access when you're doing ethical hacking jobs, you understand. Now, as an ethical hacker, you must behave in accordance with the approved plan. You must maintain confidentiality and adhere to the non-disclosure of information. Okay. You must maintain confidentiality and adhere to non-disclosure of information, and that includes the results, you understand. The test results or the learning during the entire hacking process is sensitive information, like I said, and you should keep that from leaking to anybody, you understand. You must ensure you are compliant with the organization's policies and governing laws under which the company is regulated. First and foremost, what you must understand is that companies have different assets. Like Instagram, they have subdomains, you understand? All the domains are their assets. So, for instance, they want you to perform a penetration testing job for them. They tell you, these are the assets we want you to work on, and these other assets, please do not touch those, you understand? So, like I said, like the first commandment, you have to work ethically, which means you have to work professionally. The fifth commandment of ethical hacking is maintaining a record of ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is a dedicated effort, and you may have to spend long hours over a keyboard in a darkened room. You understand? And this may demand of hours of work. Often, to ensure you are on the right path, you must continuously record all your findings and attempts. Keeping an adequate record of your work is a hallmark of professionalism. You should actually do that. Um, Ethical hacking, for me, when I started, I had a lot of books, I had a lot of uh, blank pages, to write on. I usually studied day and night, and it was really, really stressful for me. I had never done anything like that in my life. Um, in the morning, I wake up, I do chores and all that. I get back to hacking. Evening, the same thing. Afternoon, the same thing. I had no one to teach me or give me this opportunity you are receiving. I actually studied everything myself, and that is one price you have to pay. If you want to do it, you have to keep practicing. You don't have to wait for the lectures or wait for the class before you get your Kali Linux fired up and you start doing something. Just start doing irregular things. You go on YouTube, you find videos, and don't worry. At the end of the class, I will tell you where to get tools and how to get tools and things like that. You understand? So without wasting much time, I have to repeat the fifth commandment, which says, maintain a record of ethical hacking. I believe you all should have a book you're writing on right now. So it is very necessary to maintain records and dates. The sixth commandment of ethical hacking is you respect others' privacies. Yes, just because you could send a phishing link to your friend, to your school, to anybody doesn't mean you should do it. As an ethical hacker, if you want to do black hats, whatever, that is none of my business. What I teach you is for educational purposes only. You must respect others' privacies. You understand? Respecting and protecting the privacy of others' information is the foremost principle of ethical hacking. You understand? The information that you obtain during the hacking process would include confidential data like passwords, you understand? And these have to be kept private. Behave responsibly while dealing with others' data, and you treat the information with the same ethnicity and confidentiality as you treat yours. You wouldn't want anybody to know what your password is, so you should protect others' password to do it for the good, and you're gonna have good rewards. You understand? So the seventh commandment is you resist the urge. Yeah, that is the seventh commandment of ethical hacking. Um, those of you who have installed Kali Linux already, I think you should have seen some quotes somewhere while using some tools. They tell you the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. That is one quote. Another that concerns this is the more power you have is the more with great power comes great responsibility, and you totally have the right and responsibility to remain responsible. So what you do is you resist the urge. When you have the power to hack websites, hack your school database, change your results, um, go on bank websites, get logs and all that, you are able to hack yourself, do really crazy stuff by yourself. If you are able to do all of this, you have to resist the urge to do something evil. Of course, you should. It is easy to get caught in the gratifying task of ethical hacking. Yes. When you succeed in your attempts, you may get the urge to try more. There may be a possibility of causing an outage of some sort or trampling others' rights. Usually, ethical hackers use the tools without the proper understanding of their implications, forgetting that an attack may create a denial of service. Please note that. I will come back to that actually. A good understanding of the nature of tools is important to put them in use. That is the reason why script kiddies are those people who use other person's tools for their minor attacks. Now, when you create a tool by yourself, you understand the entire function of that particular tool. You understand its complications. Most of you or all of you, you know what Nmap is because I have told you what it is. You are not the one who made or created Nmap, so you might not understand all of its consequences when you are using it. Now, what this particular commandment tells you to resist the urge is you try to be careful with your actions because when you are not familiar with Kali Linux, you might cause a really good amount of damage to the cyber community, or something I asked you to note, a denial of service. Yes, it is quite easy to cause a denial of service to a particular system. Sometimes, personally myself, I try some really crazy stuff too. There was a time, quite a long time ago, I tried to get a use like I tried to obtain IP address from a user on WhatsApp. Yeah, what I did was I tried to run WhatsApp on my system. I successfully did that through WhatsApp web, and using Bob Suite, I wanted to be able to access every metadata of information, which is actually the messages I receive from anybody. Because supposedly, I believe when someone texts me a message on WhatsApp, it is supposed to carry a lot of information other than the regular hello and hi. It's supposed to carry the IP address, carry the location, the destination, and all that. So that was what I actually wanted to do. And though I did not succeed, but my system actually hooked, and I don't know what happened. That same day, WhatsApp stopped working and it was reported on the news. Instagram had a similar issue too. Yes, it was reported on the news actually. I don't know what happened, but I tried running WhatsApp on Bob Suite because I wanted to actually do something, though I did not succeed. So sometimes you have to resist the urge to try really crazy stuff, you understand? So you don't cause a denial of service to people. It actually happened this year. So you can go on your news and you look it up. So the next commandment is you adopt a scientific process. Yeah, this is part of you making a methodology for your hacking process. To have a great acceptance of your work or to have a great job, you have to adopt an empirical method based on the following attributes, which is you plan a quantifiable goals, you ensure consistency in the results, you attend to persistent problems. You understand? You have to go over problems over and over again. Sometimes, using some tools like Metasploit, you have to send. You have to click on exploit first time. It might give you some errors and all that. You have to retry. You click on exploit again. You have to be persistent. You understand? When hacking, you have to be persistent because the hacking process sometimes is this. It usually requires patience, you understand, and discipline. You don't just press the keys and it works for you like magic. No, because there are systems designed to actually work against you, you understand, to actually work against intruders. You understand? Ethical hackers are actually licensed intruders because they are given the permission to intrude into the system and write back. You understand? So you have to be persistent like an intruder. And at the end of the day, you write a report. I hope that is okay. So I am moving on to the next, which is number 9. The ninth commitment is that you restrict when collecting the tools. There are ample wireless hacking tools, so many wireless hacking tools available online, and this may tempt you to grab them all, you know. And when the new ones are whenever new ones are released, you want to have this one, you want to have this one, you want to have this one because there are so many tools. Now, the basic thing this commandment tells you is that you pick your favorite tools, you understand? And if you don't like something about them, you audit them. That is why Kali Linux is very flexible to the extent you can edit whatever tools that are downloaded. You can go to the source code, the written script, and edit them however you want to your own specifications. Just have a favorite tool, you understand? So you don't get distracted looking for petty information, you understand. Surprisingly, the larger the number of tools you possess, the more you will discover, and that is true. Hackers are working daily to get new tools into the market, and that is one thing I love about the cyber community because people actually work day and night writing and creating codes and scripts, and at the end of the day, all of their jobs and works and years of works, they just come online and give it free for anybody to use and edit. Yeah, that is one thing I love about ethical hacking. And that is the reason why you will never get tired of looking for new tools. And new tools actually will never get tired of coming to the market. Now, due to the rampant growth of cyber attacks, many free tools can be sought online. And if you have the time and budget, then you can gain access to a larger collection. It is a fascinating hobby of it is a fascinating hobby of ethical hackers, which may get fierce change. You understand? Your same vulnerability analysis one tool is going to treat is the same vulnerability analysis another tool is going to treat. The mode of treating it might just be different. Some might be graphic user interface, some might be client command line interface, you understand? But then you have to pick a favorite tool and master it, you understand? Mastering a particular tool is much more better than having so many tools at your disposal. So without wasting much time, I have to go on to the 10th commandment, which is report all your findings. Please, like I have said, this is what makes you an ethical hacker. Report all of your findings. Ethical hacking may not be a day's task, you understand? It may extend a week. You could do a particular job for a week, a month, 2 months, 6 months. It is important to report all of your findings. Findings should be shared with all the authorized personnel forward by said this and I'll say it again, you have to report your findings always, you understand. So that is what we have for the laws and um, to the standards of ethical hacking, before I go on to the standards of ethical hacking, please, does anyone have any questions so far?
Sir, there is a question by Rahul. He says that
Okay.
while trying multiple stuff, while he get into some system, like he is trying something to learn, and he get in the official system of some enterprise, will it be considered as crime or?
Please, you have to repeat the question. Please, can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Actually, I was having some network issue.
Yes, myself too.
There is a question by Rahul.
Okay.
He was telling that while trying multiple stuff of ethical hacking, like he is learning something and suddenly he get into the system of some official enterprise, will it be considered as cybercrime or?
Okay. When you get, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you're planning or testing something, first of all, to test something on someone else's system without their permission, it takes you off balance, and then you get a shell. What I mean by a shell is a command line interface of a remote system. Now you have a shell on someone else's system or computer. It is not considered as a crime. But then, when actions are taken further to escalate privileges or do more damages, that is when it is considered a crime. Now, they will be thankful to you if you report the processes in which you use to get a shell in their system remotely. You understand that? So it is not considered a crime, but then you have to report it to them so someone else doesn't get that particular shell from a remote location or an authorized person. So have I answered your question, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any other question?
No, sir. We didn't receive any more question.
Okay. So without wasting much time, I have to go on to standards. And by standards, I mean certifications of ethical hacking. Please, there are so many certifications, but then you have to look them up online. I will mention about eight or 10. So the very first one we have is CEH certification, which is Certified Ethical Hacking Certification, and they are among the oldest and most popular. The second we have is GIAC Penetration Tester. It's another type of certification. Also, we have the Offensive Security Certified Professional. That's the, I think it's usually called the OSCOP, something like that, and it has been around for about 10 years, you understand, but it has gained a lot of reputation for durability and toughness. Also, we have the CREST certification exams and courses. They are usually accepted in a wide area uh, across countries. uh, we also have yeah, please hold on. We also have Foundstone Ultimate Hacking. You understand? They also have good certifications. We have the Certified Penetration Testing Consultant. If you are looking to be a professional who is supposed to be responsible for securing computers, then Certified Penetration Testing Consultant will be suitable for you. We have the Certified Penetration Testing Engineer. That's the CPTE, and it's a certification which qualifies you to have expertise and knowledge of five key information security components. You understand? Which are like I said, they are penetration testing, data collection, scanning, enumeration, exploitation, and reporting. That is what certified penetration testing engineer certification is going to teach you. And those are the standards we have based on ethical hacking. And what is next is the framework of ethical hacking. So basically, what is a framework? A framework is an essential supporting structure of a particular entity. So the uh, essential supporting structure of ethical hacking. Um, who can guess? What do you think is going to be? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Within the um, entire 7 days of this class, we have not had any tests, no assignments, nothing. So this is just a little one to show your participation. Yes, you. What you do is you just come back to the group and we discuss about it. You find your answers. That should be your assignment. The framework of ethical hacking. I have given the definition of ethical hacking already. I've given the definition of a framework already. So go out, search for some knowledge, and come back to tell us what um, the framework of ethical hacking is and explain. And then we will have to discuss about it because people will be coming with different ideas, and that will boost our knowledge a little bit further. So thank you very much. And also, I told you I was going to do something for you after the class. That was when I was
Yes, sir.
explaining the languages. Can somebody remind me, please? Okay. There is no person to remind me who what I said I was going to do after the class. Hold on. I will go back home to search that. Um, yes, I told you I was going to mention and tell you how to get tools, working materials, information, and all that. The very first place you could get reliable content from is in your Kali Linux machine. When you open onto Kali Linux, you go onto Kali Docs, you check the options, the menu, and you'll find very valuable information, documents, important things you can utilize and read up. There are persons have actually written books on Kali Linux. You go on that, you go onto their official website, you see a lot of information. Also, you have to go on GitHub. Um, I don't know if you know how to install from GitHub, but I'm supposed to show you when I was streaming for you, but I did not. I'm sorry about that. To install from GitHub, you just go on to any tool. Okay. Which search for Hidden Eye GitHub in your browser. You go on to Hidden Eye, and it's going to explain to you how to get a particular tool and how to clone. Basically, what you do is from GitHub. I clone. There are other methods too where you have to download directly and unzip the file and all that. But it is easier for to use the command line interface to download tools from GitHub. It is actually very interesting because it is a community of programmers. I mentioned this, I think, in the very first class. I opened up GitHub for everybody to see. So GitHub is a very, very amazing place, and that is one place you get a lot, so many tools, thousands and millions of scripts and tools, and so many things for whatever purposes it's going to be written there. So you just search for whatever tool you want. Then at the end, you write GitHub in your search menu, in your search bar, and then if it's available on GitHub, it will bring it out for you, and you clone and install. So another place you could get really good resources from is YouTube. YouTube is a very great place for learning too. Also, you have Udemy. You could learn a lot from Udemy, but some of the courses, most of the courses are paid courses. So YouTube is the place to get free courses. It is very nice. I think I used to study on YouTube before, and also you Google is your friend. Google is your best friend, right from beginner hackers to expert hackers, even the best hacker in the world. They refer to Google for some certain um, purposes. Now, sometimes or always, like use everyone has their own method of searching for information on Google, but hackers have a special method used to search for information on Google, because some information they are hidden deep into websites, into PDFs and all that. So to easily find them, I will teach you that, and it's called Google Docking. It's Google hacking database and all that. I will teach you that in the paid session, the parameters you use for Google Docking and all that. It is very, very interesting, and you can actually do some live hacking. You can actually watch CCTV cameras in remote locations that are exposed online by mistake and all that. It is actually very interesting. You will get all of these premium services in the paid session, and I think that is what I have to offer for today's class. And thank you very much for the 7 days class, and thank you for um, your patience yesterday. I was not actually able to do classes yesterday, and yesterday was weekend, and students actually preferred we took a break yesterday. So thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your patience and everything with me. I promise to do better during the paid session, and I want you to know that whatever I have taught you, whatever I have said, it is for your edification only.
Yes, sir.
Please do not hurt anybody. Do not commit any crime. So I will leave it on to the management right now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. We will be sharing the attendance form. You might take screenshot and fill the attendance form for the certificate. Today was the last day of the session. Lakshita, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you, Divya. It was an amazing session by you. Thank you, sir, for teaching us about ethical hacking. It will surely help every individual. Everyone can take the screenshot.
We will be ending the today's session, and further to continue the journey of ethical hacking, you might enroll with the paid session of our course. We will be conveying our data to everyone. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the teaching. A wonderful thing you taught us. We were not familiar with many things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So I think we have to end the class now.
Yes, sir. Now we can end the class.